Hi guys, this is Sean from 𝗃𝗵𝗀𝗲𝗲. If you are watching this video, I'm guessing most likely you did not manage to secure a unit at either 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗲 or 𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗃𝗃. Fret not, because the Orie is launching very soon in January. The show flat is almost ready and we can't wait to show you during the VIP preview. But before that, let me do a comprehensive review and highlight the 3 reasons why the Orie might not be so suitable as a short-term investment. Do watch till the end to find out what these 3 factors are before deciding whether to buy this project or not.
In case you are not familiar, I use my IPA framework to guide my clients in evaluating a development holistically based on these 5 factors. Number 1, location and amenities. Number 2, facilities and quality. Number 3, demand versus supply in the area. Number 4, pricing versus surrounding developments. And finally, layout. And an overall score will be given at the end. Feel free to check out my previous video at the top right hand corner to see how I use the IPA framework to evaluate a project like 𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗃𝗃. By the way, I've also compiled a list of all the balanced new launch inventory with their respective price range. If you would like to have a copy of the PDF, just click on the link in the description below and I'll be happy to send it across.
Alright, let's first evaluate Orie's location. The marketing materials say we are within 5 minutes walk to Braddell MRT. Let's see how accurate is that. I'm now standing at Orie's side gate. Here we go.
You need to walk along Lorong 1 Toa Payoh, which is a relatively easy walk on flat pavement. It's possible to be fully sheltered if you walk under the old blocks. Especially these few weeks keep raining, so being fully sheltered is definitely an added bonus. Continue walking and you will see the next bus stop. So if you're lazy to walk, can also take bus for just 1 stop. And before you know it, we are at Braddell MRT. It only took me 3 minutes actually, so 5 minutes is definitely very doable. If you go across the road, you will find a 24 hours McDonald's. Within close proximity to Orie, you will also have access to a few neighborhood shops and supermarkets, as well as a Toa Payoh Palm, Spring Market and Hawker Centre. What is lacking is a full-fledged mall in the area, but it's alright because Novena and Orchard are just 2 and 4 MRT stops away respectively for you to satisfy your shopping needs. For those of you who drive, Orie is also not too far away from the entrance of 3 major expressways, namely the CTE, PIE and the upcoming North-South corridor.
However, coming to the first reason why I feel the Orie is not so suitable as a short-term investment, and that is because it is located in an extremely mature Toa Payoh estate. Very seldom you will hear people saying, when I grow up, I want to stay in Toa Payoh. Unless you are targeting certain schools or you have roots in this area, it's not the first location that comes to people's minds. It's not like 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, where it will attract many upgraders coming from the northeast, or like 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃, where it attracts buyers looking to own a piece of District 15. There will be a new integrated facility in Toa Payoh comprising of a regional sports centre, polyclinic and library to be completed in 2030. However, Orie is in a location that will require much more rejuvenation than that to attract a wider pool of buyers, which is going to take time. On balance, I'll give a scoring of 7 for location and amenities.
Coming to facilities and quality, let's first take a look at the project information. The Orie will be jointly developed by CDL, Frasers and 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗲. All 3 are very renowned developers in Singapore. On top of that, the builder, which is sometimes even more important than the developer, is 𝗁𝗃 Private Limited. And 𝗁𝗃 has a very consistent track record of being awarded Band 1 in the Conquest banding, which is a widely recognized and internationally accepted benchmarking tool for quality. In terms of facilities, you'll be getting the standard 50-meter lap pool, kids pool, gym, clubhouse with function rooms, barbecue pits, tennis court, and so on. In addition, it comes with a basement car park, which I feel is the bare minimum for a luxury condominium, which our next door neighbour Gem Residences doesn't have. However, due to the smaller land size, it is actually a pretty dense development and you will not be getting the kind of large landscaping like what you will see in Nava Grove or Tran Park. In terms of internal finishing, quality fittings and appliances from brands like Dietrich, Duravit, Hans Grohe and Samsung will be used. Bathroom tiles also exudes a certain level of sophistication and aesthetics. Wardrobe design is pretty standard and utilizes the full length from bottom to top. Only comment is the flooring used for the bedrooms will be vinyl instead of engineered timber, which is a more durable material. Overall, you can be assured that the building quality and finishing will be of a certain standard. However, because of the fact that Orie will likely be a typical high-rise development with very high density, which might in turn affect the overall livability, I will only give a rating of 7 out of 10 for the facilities and quality factor. Next up, let's first take a look at Orie's expected launch price. There were 3 bids in total for this plot of land, and the highest bid was secured at 1360 PSF. The estimated break-even price after accounting for construction cost, financing cost, marketing expenses and etc. works out to be about 2305 PSF. As Orie is secured after the new GFA harmonization rules, the developer is now unable to sell the aircon ledge space as part of the strata floor area. So this will also cause their break-even price to be adjusted upwards slightly by 5% to 2420 PSF. Finally, assuming the developer is now looking at a 10 to 15% profit margin, I would expect the average launch price to be around 2750 PSF. Do take note that this is a high-rise development with 40 stories, so my estimation of 2750 PSF is for about the 20th floor range. Now, using our price gap analysis, let's compare Orie's expected pricing of 2750 PSF versus its surrounding neighbours in the Toa Payoh and Bishan estate. At one glance, you'll be able to tell Orie has quite a significant premium versus these developments. Of course, some of them are already very old. After adjusting for their age gap, Orie is on average about 50 PSF higher for every 1 year difference in age. What is even more drastic is the price gap between the Orie and Gem residences right next door, which amounts to a difference of 80 PSF per year. But if you look deeper, you will realize that Orie's price gap per year with Trevista is somewhat more reasonable. So the question is, how come Gem Residences is priced similarly as Trevista when it's a much newer development? Well, there's a few reasons for that. First of all, Gem Residences' quality and finishing is not exactly the best, which has led to a faster rate of wear and tear. It is also located right next to a temple, which some buyers do not prefer. Thirdly, its layout is also not so ideal, which I'll elaborate later in the layout analysis. One quick example is the triple key concept unit, which consists of 3 studio apartments in one unit, which is extremely difficult to sell in the resale market. This has caused their transacted PSF to be much lower than other layout types, which has caused a drag on the overall valuation of the development. Having said that, Orie's price gap versus Gem Residences is still indeed quite sizable, and this is the second reason why I feel the Orie is not so suitable as a short-term investment. You will need to hold for a longer term before you can see meaningful appreciation. Because of this, I'll only give a scoring of 6 out of 10 for pricing. Another key thing which is crucial in determining your exit strategy is the stack and floor level selection, whereby I will evaluate the price differential between different stacks and different floors to determine if the premium for the so-called better facing or higher floor units is worth paying or not. This is especially important in a high-rise development where the price difference between the lower floors and higher floors can be a few $100,000. Choosing the wrong unit can result in the 6-digit difference in profit. So if you like what you see, feel free to reach out to me at 94515625 to arrange for an exclusive show flat preview, and I'll be happy to advise further. Coming to demand versus supply, just a quick recap for the people who are seeing this for the first time. I'm using the demand ratio, which is the transaction volume in the last 1 year divided by the number of listings that are currently on sale to measure how strong the demand is. Basically, a high demand ratio will suggest that there is strong demand in the area because there are more units that have already been transacted recently compared to the number of units that are currently still available in the market. With that in mind, let's take a look at how the demand looks like for the 3 bidders. So, I have tabulated the demand ratio of comparable developments in Toa Payoh and Bishan, and the numbers actually look pretty strong. The overall demand ratio that we got is 180%, which translates to a max score of 5 points according to the skill I have developed. This is not surprising because there is a certain degree of demand coming from upgraders who are staying in high-value HDBs like Toa Payoh Crest, Toa Payoh Apex, and the Peak DBSS in the area. There are also parents looking to enroll their kids in primary schools within the 1 km radius like Pei Chun Public School. Well, you must be thinking, didn't I mention earlier that Toa Payoh is in a location that buyers are not naturally attracted to? So, for the bigger units, you are still able to capture buyers that are already familiar with the estate, as well as buyers looking to target certain primary schools in the area, and hence the numbers still look pretty decent. However, things are not so rosy for the 1 and 2 bedders. Zooming in on gem residences, the demand ratio for the 1 and 2 bedders are pretty weak at 33% and 58%, which will give you a score of only 1 point and 3 points respectively. So if you happen to be eyeing a smaller unit at the Orie, remember you might need to have a longer holding period. Coming to the supply side, I'm using the supply ratio, which is the number of listings that are currently on sale divided by the total number of units in the development to measure the extent of supply. In this case, the lower the supply ratio the better, as it will indicate that there's very little competition in the market. Similarly, we got very favorable results for the 3 bedders, which translates to a max score of 5 points. The numbers for gem residences look slightly higher, but that's because 8 out of 10 listings on sale belong to the triple key units, which I mentioned earlier are very difficult to sell. There's hardly any supply for the typical 3-bedroom units. Unfortunately, the numbers for the 1 and 2 bedders don't look as good and only got a score of 4 and 2 points respectively. On balance, I'll give an overall score of 7.5 for demand versus supply. As the video is getting too long, I wouldn't be able to cover everything. If you would like to learn more about the analysis for the 4 and 5 bedders, feel free to reach out to me on WhatsApp at 94515625 and I'll be happy to explain further. Thank you so much for staying on. Here's a bonus piece of information just for you. If you look at the master plan, there are huge plots of land zone residential waiting to be developed at Caldecott, Mount Pleasant, and 𝗵𝗶𝗱𝗲, which are all in close proximity to where Orie is. This includes 5,000 new BTO flats to be launched in the upcoming Mount Pleasant estate. However, the development of these estates will take time, especially for 𝗵𝗶𝗱𝗲 for obvious reasons. And this is the third reason why I feel the Orie is more suitable as a mid to long-term investment if you want to reap the full rewards of the transformation that will happen in time to come. Finally, coming to layout. Just a quick comment on the unit mix. As you can see, there's an equal mix of the smaller 1 and 2 bedrooms as well as the bigger 3, 4 and 5 bedroom units. Now, this is considered a healthy proportion. What we don't want to see is too many small units within a development, as it will mean there might be a huge number of investors who are looking for a quick exit, which might affect prices, or looking to rent out, which will result in a large tenant population. Alright, for the layout evaluation, we will be mainly comparing with gem residences, since this is what your future buyers will be comparing with as well. Let's zoom in on the 2-bed, 2-bath layout. Orie's floor area stands at 646 square feet, while gem residences floor area is around 639 square feet after I exclude the aircon latch space for better comparison. So both have more or less very similar internal floor area. However, Orie has a more efficient dumbbell layout which eliminates the need for corridor space. It also has an enclosable kitchen versus gem residence's open concept kitchen. Orie's bedrooms are also bigger, as you still can put 2 side tables beside the bed. On top of that, it has a regular shaped balcony versus gem residence's L-shaped balcony, which is not very usable. So hands down, Orie's 2-bed 2-bath layout is much better. Next, let's compare the 3-bedroom premium layout. Orie's floor area stands at 1044 square feet, while gem residence's floor area is around 995 square feet after I exclude the aircon latch space. I like it that there's plenty of countertop and cabinet space in Orie's kitchen, while it's quite limited over at gem residences. Orie also has an extra WC at the back, so if you're the kind that cannot share toilet with your helper, then this is better for you. Again, Orie has bigger bedrooms as well, which makes it more livable. However, gem residences has the landscape living dining layout, which some buyers prefer because it allows more light to enter the house. Some owners might also choose to place the dining table at the balcony so they can have a bigger living room space. Overall, I would say Orie's 3-bedroom premium layout is probably still safer, as it has most things a family will be looking out for. Lastly, let's take a look at the 4-bedroom layout. Orie's floor area stands at a very comfortable 1216 square feet. It comes with a cozy dry kitchen area where you can put your coffee machine, microwave or other appliances you use more regularly. However, as a result, the wet kitchen area seems kind of small for a 4-bedroom unit. It does come with a dry kitchen and a sizable yard area, so I guess that compensates the smaller wet kitchen space. But I must say the thing that really caught my eye is the fact that all 4 bedrooms are facing the same direction. This is pretty rare because usually the 4th bedroom will be on the other side of the corridor and you'll be facing inwards, looking at other units' kitchen or bathrooms, which isn't so ideal. So now all 4 bedrooms will be facing south and you get a very nice view of the CBD if you're on higher floors. However, this also means that you'll end up with a very long corridor for you to do shuttle run. Coming to Gem Residences, its 4 bedroom is around 1178 square feet after eliminating the aircon ledge space. Nice landscape living dining area, but very weird balcony space. Kitchen is too cramped for a 4 bedroom unit and common bedrooms are too small as well. However, it has a very spacious junior master with an ensuite bathroom. Comparing these two, I think I still prefer Orie's 4 bedroom layout as I really like the idea of all rooms having the same splendid view. Overall, I would say the architect has done a good job in coming up with Orie's layout and it should stand out versus Gem Residences, so I'm going to give it a score of 8.5. In the interest of time, I'm only able to review these few layouts right now, but if you would like to have full access to all the floor plans and also my views on the remaining unit types, feel free to contact me on WhatsApp at 94515625 and I'll be happy to elaborate further. Overall, the Orie might not be so suitable as a short-term investment due to its very mature location and lack of transformation in the near term, as well as a significant price gap versus its closest neighbour. Notwithstanding, given the strong demand and lack of supply of bigger units in 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗲, as well as the potential rejuvenation of Caldecott, Mount Pleasant and 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗲, I believe the 3, 4 and 5 bedders will still perform very well in the mid to long term. My overall rating for this development will be 7.2 out of 10. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with my evaluation. And with that, thank you so much for staying till the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our Happy Homes Property YouTube channel for the latest content. If you're looking at a few other developments and would like me to evaluate as well, feel free to contact me at 94515625 or click on the link in the description below and I'll be happy to evaluate further. Once again, I'm Sean and I'll see you soon.